Hello, thank you for joining me. It's Monday the 1st of April. So welcome to a new month. We've got a very exciting start as we've got Mercury going into its retrograde period today. So I'm going to use my astrology reading cards today. I haven't used these for a while actually. I think I just kind of lost them. So let's see who comes out. Right, okay. So we've got Taurus and we've got the moon. Okay, so there's writing on each of these cards. Taurus is about the energy around you, shows the abundance of nature. It is rich, earthy and productive, yet relaxed and slow. And in this card, you can see the bee there getting the nectar from the flower. You can see a little bit of money on that stone as well. And obviously the Taurus sign there. Now, I was surprised to see Taurus because there's so much going on in Aries at the moment with our, obviously our solar eclipse in Aries is coming up next month. Mercury's in Aries at the moment, just gone into retrograde. So there's a lot going on. So, but you know what? Sometimes the cards tell us where else to focus. And I do feel where this says relaxed and slow, that's tapping into really what happens when we go into a retrograde period. Sometimes we have no choice but to slow down. And the reason Mercury retrograde gets a bit of a bad name is because that happens by cancelling meetings, missing trains, losing your keys, all your work crashes and you have to do it all again. You know, so that is why Mercury retrograde is not always welcomed by some. But what happens when we are forced to slow down is we're forced to get out of our kind of programmed world. You know, a lot of us, no, and I'm guilty of this, we kind of go through our life on autopilot. We get up at exactly the same time, we have our breakfast at the same time, we go to work at the same time, and it's all just a repeating pattern every day. So when we get this period and it kind of just stops us in our tracks or throws a few curveballs in, it makes us examine our life, our schedule, our routine, and maybe question whether it's actually working in our favour. And I do love the fact that this is a nature card, Taurus being an earthy energy. We've got this lovely nature all around us, and obviously spring, if you're in the northern hemisphere, is on its way. Sometimes just spending time in nature and just being allowed to just sit and not really think about anything is something that we don't do. So I do feel like as we move through this Mercury retrograde, if you have been given an opportunity to slow down, take it. I mean, it might even be illness. You might be having an operation. You might have to rest. You know, like some of us, oh, I've got to do 6 weeks and I won't be able to drive. Well, maybe that's a blessing in disguise. So have a think about that. If anything does come in over this retrograde period that causes you to need to relax and slow down. Now, of course, we've got the moon. I do feel like, of course, they were going to show up for this reading today. Your unconscious, sensitive, inner emotions and responses. Okay, the moon is our intuitive side, and obviously we are in the middle of this eclipse portal. You can see it here, can't you? So I do feel there's this underlying theme. Yes, we've got the retrograde period, but we've also got this portal and we're in it for another week. Now, one thing that is important to kind of just get this week is the idea of being a little bit confused and not really sure what's going on. You might need to take some time to work things out. Because I do feel we are in this transitional period at the moment. We had the lunar eclipse last week. We've got the solar eclipse next week. So we're neither one place or the other at the moment. So you might resonate when I say that. We're not at the beginning of a cycle or at the end of one. We're kind of just in that no man's land where we're not really sure. We can be feeling a little bit ungrounded, which is possibly why this Taurus card has come in as well. But I feel like the moon is saying, you know what, that is where you're supposed to be. So, you know, you can just about make this lady out, and she's kind of, she's looking a little bit unsure, isn't she? It looks like she's kind of staring into space or staring at that water. You might find yourself just losing a few hours while you're just kind of working things out in your own head. I feel like we are being called to get really in touch with our inner deepest emotions at the moment. And that might mean that you don't do much this week, you know, or today especially. I mean, today in the UK is a bank holiday. I don't know if it is everywhere for everyone. But, you know, maybe this is a day where you just don't do a lot and you're okay with that. And so many of us lead such busy lives that when we have a day where we do nothing, we kind of feel guilty, or that we should have done something. We should have been more productive. And yeah, that's not always the case, is it? You know, we've got two beautiful scenes here. We've got the moon looking over this wonderful water. We've got the sun looking over this beautiful forest. How hard would it be if we just spent time every day just enjoying what's around us? And unfortunately, we don't always do that. So I feel like we're being given permission to do that today in some way. Or just because I say this is a Mercury retrograde reading, for the couple of weeks that we're in retrograde, maybe that is going to be your theme. Taking some time out every day to relax and be a bit slower and work out what on earth's going on. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. I'll be back again tomorrow with a tarot reading for you, so please do join me then. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.